Almost there. Almost there. All right, y'all. This time I have it. So we're just gonna keep moving from here. I'm just getting it still. So I think we're almost comfortable. Yeah, this is just gonna have to do, but I come here with a testimony. Happy Monday, y'all. I hope everybody's doing well. What's the vibe? I would love to hear from you all. This is my first time going live ever. Well, not to count the 4 times I did to get ready for this one. But I really felt I had a message to share, and I really felt that my downloads, or rather, I was called to the fact that my downloads are not just for me, it's for the folks being not just me. And so I came on here just as I am. I am nervous, but I am feeling brave in my voice. And I feel like I have something to share. You can call me Captain Cool Bae. And I am an intuitive reader. I am clairaudient. I am clairvoyant. I usually have pretty strong dreams, but with my clairaudience, I get really strong resonances of sounds. So certain music or words or something will pop up that'll kind of help clue me in to either like a visual or a detail about like a feeling or something like that. So we're gonna go ahead with Mondays, but this whole journey of kind of putting this together has brought a story to me. They say you have to be tested to have a testimony, and I didn't realize that this was a test. And so for a minute, I was a little, I was figuring it out, literally and metaphorically today with the whole technology, but just like in life, recently, generally, I've just been figuring things out. But a big part of that has been just understanding that you will never know unless you try. And 9 times out of 10, unless you're like a prodigy or something like that, first time you try something, you're gonna be ass. Like, you're not gonna be good. Enough respect to you for trying, right? But you are gonna be ass. It's not about you so much as it is about, what it takes to understand something. So you start out not knowing, and then you figure your way around it. You get some information, and you start to know. But it takes time. It takes some time, it takes some practice, it takes tempering. You have to really go through your journey if you want to understand why you were called to it, and further why it was called to you. There's no such thing as coincidence. And even though we struggle with things, sometimes they're themes or motifs in our journey because it was a part of our life in the first place, right? So I struggle a lot with, being on camera, finding ways to communicate the process of being a storyteller and operating on that in a spiritual capacity, while also being hella camera shy and very nervous and lacking some confidence, to be honest, because spiritual stuff isn't really that easy to, navigate all the time. And, sometimes it requires you to be brave and be confident in what you know. So today when I tried to do the live, I was like, I go on YouTube, I watch readings, I have a device, I can do this. And it wasn't that easy. The first 2 times I did it, I had somebody in here. This time I don't, and maybe I won't, but maybe somebody else will see this later and they'll be like, whoa, this is why you should try. In any case, this is my 5th time trying to load up this live. And I was scared every single time. I would say I'm probably the least nervous this time because I'm just like, girl, is this really even happening? But it took all of those times of trying and trying and trying. And on maybe about the fourth, which felt like the 4,000th, I got the download that this was for me. I had to live through a test so that I could talk about this testimony that I'm here to share. And once again, at the bottom of the deck, it's temperance. It's all about tempering, which is like, you know, you ever seen pouring 2 cups, right? You go, psh, 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 psh. If you have like a granny or something like that, they do that with like hot drinks, or like to mix like sugar and like some tea. Anyways, the process though is getting all the things from one side to another, which is getting you from a state of fear and doubt to a space of acceptance and love. And that's kind of hard to do, but the only way to do it is through a groove. It's to just get going. And that's very frightening. But life wasn't just meant to be delightful. It's frightening too. So you gotta just, you know, what is it? Take the rain with the sunshine, like Janae Aiko says. Anyways, that was my download. I prayed over the cards before I got on camera. I have shuffled the deck, as you guys have seen, just kind of stemming as I went along. It seems like a big message around motivation this week is just going to be how to persevere, how to remain motivated. And so we'll just take it from there. I'm going to put a card down for each pile, and we will start the reading from there. But at this point, you can stick with me as I adjust the screen again. And then we'll do a little sound clearing, and then you can pick a card and you will use that pile, you know, pick that pile, do what you want, all right? But this is where I'm going with it. Before we do that though, we're gonna let that person get on their way. And also I'm going to clear the space with the sound bowl. So take a deep breath, inhale. Let it out. Like that person pressed on their brakes. Let it out. Let out the car. We're gonna inhale one more time. And we release. All right, pile 1 is a pyrite crystal. We've got the pyrite here. Let me just hold it up so you guys can kind of get familiar with the vibe. Pyrite is good for productivity. It's good for working. If you keep one of these on your desk, it's pretty handy. And it's kind of shiny. But it's also hard body, you know. It's a crystal, but it's a gem. Then we have carnelian. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is carnelian, or it might be sunstone, but I'm almost positive it's carnelian. Her is real cute, like she's real nice. I actually don't know enough about carnelian. I would tell you a fun fact right now, but it would probably be cap because I have no idea how to explain that in a way that's intelligible. You know, I just know why I vibe with her, but like I forgot right now. But she's here, so carnelian, you're in good hands, pile 2. Pile 3 is citrine. It's a little chipped on the side, but that just gives her character. Citrine, it's great for calming anxiety. When I'm nervous, I like to chew on it. I'm just kidding, it fell. That's how it broke. But in any case, it does do good to clear one's nerves or alleviate stress. So pile 3, you've got citrine. Alrighty, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started pile for pile. Again, guys, this is my first time doing a pick a card reading, doing a live reading. I've read for people before. I've been reading for about 2 years, but I've never done it on the internet. So we'll just see how this goes. Okay, pile 1. move you guys out the way. Anybody have any good music recommendations? I find that Monday always starts, if you start Monday with a really strong playlist, kind of like sets the soundtrack for how you're gonna get the week going. So let me know if you do in the comments. I'm expecting 1,000. I'm just kidding. Okay, pile one. I started feeling really silly once I got to you. And so part of this is going to be a little bit of a reading, but I can also feel like you need a little pep talk, pile one. Wow, this came over me very quickly. And it's kind of like about the pyrite, but it's more so, I feel like you're a little hard on yourself, pile one. What are y'all getting into? I got this energy around you that's like, you just need a little hug, pyrite. You're just, pile one. You're just giving, you just need a little sugar. I think you might be either burnt out or taking it too hard. And, just because of the pyrite, it's making me think about productivity. This feels like a group who you might feel like you're slumping, but nobody does it quite like you. So like what you would consider a slump, somebody else would be like, wow, I've gone above and beyond. You're on the marathon, don't worry. Yeah, everything is okay, huh? Let's talk. You need sugar. King of Wands. Okay. So let's talk about it. What's the vibe? Alrighty. This is a brave heart we're talking to here. Someone, whoever this is for, is a brave heart, truly brave in spirit. And you probably had to get through some stuff. You've walked a very many path. It's probably been you by yourself for quite a lot of this, but you've obviously demonstrated quite a lot of wisdom and bravery to get to this point. And another thing about the King of Wands, two things really. When I think about the King of Wands, I think somebody who has gotten it out the mud. I think of somebody who has needed to use grit. I think about somebody who had to think and act fast. Like, you really had to be on your P's and Q's, and smart. It's like this type of an energy doesn't really get the opportunity to just kick back and relax all that often because you're too busy getting to the bag, and we commend you, King of Wands. And that could be, you may be, your pronouns may be he, she, they, them, anyone. King of Wands is just an energy, but it's that energy of somebody who's like, I think of Came and Saw by Young Slime Life, YSL. That was so fucking corny, YSL. But you know how he says, I do this shit with no pressure. Ooh, run up the bag and then get to the ashes. You cannot step with a stepper. Ooh, you can't put dirt on the nigga that's clean. Like, this is the energy that I get from this person. Wheezy out of here, I don't really know what he said, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm getting hype off of this. So first of all, I would not stress if I were you because you can't keep a pimp down. You can't keep a player down. You can't keep a boss off boss moves. You can't not be a boss. It's like you are a natural born leader. So let's find out what you're getting into and just where your vibe is at. But yeah, just starting out, that was the first energy I could definitely pick up. It's like, oh, you be on your stuff. Like, I want to know what you do. It's giving hedge fund or like really good drug dealer. Either way though, you have a strategy to your stuff. You're not just doing, that was too many. Okay, this is the story. Okay, this is the story. We'll keep it, it's 3. We were gonna get 3 anyways. Okay, so seems like you've been in a space of contemplating something for just a little while, right? And maybe even in a little bit of a humdrum vibe, because this is giving me, am not sure. It's kind of like the Aquarius, how the Aquarius is like, I can do all these great things, but like, what do I really want to do though? You are in that space. So maybe the space that you're in is a little burnt out. You've done so much so quickly that you're like, but can I actually do stuff? Do I need to do, what's my mission really? And I feel like you just kind of been in a meditative space. And even here, it's not like the bag's not there, the vibes aren't there. It's like you've been looking away. Oh, my nail. I told you I came as I am, y'all. This is like church, kind of. Anyways, judgment-free zone, safe space. The nail a little chip. Anyway, if you look out to the right here, or you can see the person, they're looking out to the right and they're really, 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 really not looking out onto whatever's over here. So it's like you have opportunities, or maybe there's like things that are calling to you, or maybe like your abundance is flowing, but you're like, is there anything else? Are there any other options? Like, do I have to, like, what is going on? I don't want this. So it's a state of contemplation, right? And this gives me, I think it was the Four of Pentacles first, but I'm just looking at this Hangman and I'm thinking that this space right here is self-imposed. You can see it because you can see that you're obviously averting your gaze to looking at whatever's going on here, but also because the Hanged Man is like a position that you can willfully take. It's that space. It's like, let me think about what I've done, or let me think about why I'm doing what I do. You know, that is a philosopher's journey or something. Why? It's like, you remember those math problems in elementary school where like we would have to not just answer them, but we would have to show our work, and you have to work back through the answer to make sure that the answer was the answer. It's like that's what the Hangman does, goes behind every solution, and it's like, well, let me make sure that this is right by checking my answer and plugging it back in, whatever. So that could be where you're at. That's okay. Again, you've already done so much. I wouldn't be too hard on myself for this, but a fear with it can be that you are now fearful. Well, a concern rather could be that you are now fearful to move on. What if I'm just a one-take Jake? What if this was a one-hit wonder? Like, what if I'm actually not the shit? Well, what if? Who defines that, huh? It's you or not? How did you get here? It was you or not? How did you figure out this stuff? It was you or not? It's okay to go through a little bit of a blank space. It's okay to need to figure it out. But don't think that just because you did something good before doesn't mean you can't do it again. Don't let that get you caught up. This is just who you are by design. Nobody has to force it on you. It's just who you become. It becomes you to be this person. So if you feel like taking a break and you feel like, oh, that's so not me, well, maybe you're making a new path for yourself. But embrace you holistically, because you're all of that and more. You're the whole kit and caboodle. Alrighty, one more parting message for Pile 1, who's taking it hard on themselves, but only because they know their fate. They know who they are, and they're like, oh, I'm not supposed to just stop it right here. One for the super achievers. We're gonna call you an overachiever. Huh. Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is not worried. Let me tell you this. The Queen of Pentacles is not worried about you, about y'all, about your friends, about they friends, about anyone. Because she's got it. You need to know from the bend of your elbow that you are that bitch. And yes, King of Wands, I'm talking to you. You have to know you're that bitch. You have to. It doesn't make sense otherwise. If you forget this part, you don't live this part. Not authentically. You get confused. You start thinking about it, maybe wondering if it was all for chance, or maybe if you've given too much of yourself away. You're just thinking to think, you know. You're that bitch. Case closed. Story done. All right. I love you. I love you. I love you, Pile 1. Moving on. Pile 2. Our carnelian. Our carnelian chameleon. Okay, I just wanted to tease you, pile 2. I don't know what that energy is. I just wanted to, like, poke you. Remember on Facebook how you used to be, maybe you can still do this. I don't know. I guess I haven't been on Facebook in a while. But you used to be able to poke people. And like, you're giving me like, I want to go poke you on Facebook. So maybe you're feeling flirty. Maybe you're feeling kind of like a crush energy. Maybe you're feeling pregnant with possibility. What made me think that also is looking over at this. We've got the 3 of Wands. This gives me, I just thought about Moana. You know when she's about to go past the barrier reef? And she's like, it calls me, and no one knows if I get. Like, you Moana. You are Moana. Momo. That's who's here. And that's why I want to tease at you, because I think your motivation. Am I not in focus? How do I? It say, you got to remember, girl, you got the surfboard. You can swim. Oh, that's what it is. I just touched my soul. You got to remember that you can swim. You've been landlocked, mermaid. You've been a little landlocked, okay? So what we need you to see is beyond the barrier reef. Because guess what? There's a lot that lives there, and I don't mean just Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Like, there's possibility. That's the pregnant with possibility. You're ready to dive, oopsies, into the sea. Sea is something, but you're scared, I think. Not scared, but just a little nervous, maybe apprehensive, because you're not sure what will happen. It's like a bird, you know, if I'm thinking of a landlocked situation. It's like a bird sitting in a nest, ready to fly the coop, but scared to use the wings. My dad always used to tell me this thing that was, why do birds sit on trees like leaves when God gave them wings to fly away? It was something like that. But the point is, I think that you may be questioning your purpose a little bit. And I understand. Life is not easy. The path is not easy. But would it be fun if it were? If everybody could do it, if everybody could have it, would it really be all that fun? There's something that calls just to you. Only you know, only you can share. But in the way that it calls to you, nobody else hears that. Nobody else feels it. It's not meant for anybody else like you. It's your birthright. Okay, we talking birthrights. All right, so your motivation is around just understanding that you're chose. That was kind of the vibe of Pile 1. But Pile 1 needed to understand, like, I'm somebody. Okay, let's try that again. A card felt like it wanted to come out, but it was just playing. It was playing hide and seek. Give us 3 cards. I also heard don't lose momentum. So maybe a little bit of a burnout energy. Empress in reverse. One more. One more. It's gonna be the next one. Something's telling me there's a joke in here though. One more. Bottom of the deck is the 10 of Pentacles. Okay. I mean, okay, so I'm going to honor that they're in reverse, but I'm going to read them upright, just so you know. Because it was telling, right? We're going to see the best of you. But we see that you're in your shadow side right now, whatever that energy is. It's an interesting predicament. Because what I'm seeing here is somebody whose path is so sure, is so sure. They know it. Life has shown it to them. They feel it. Maybe some ways in the universe they've been like acknowledged. Maybe you get some angel numbers, or you get some synchronicities, or someone mentions something in the same conversation like 4 times in a row. You're like, oh my gosh, girl, this is me. You're talking about me. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Listen up, beautiful. There's something that you have to understand you're trying to make a judgment call on. And with all due respect to you, it's not your call to make. And my nose is so itchy right now, bro. So this is for real for somebody. You were born with a destiny. You picked certain decisions before you came into this life. You already had a path. You are just working it out in this life. Your soul has a journey. This is school. This is school. You are getting the tests so that you can learn the lesson. Remember how I talked in the very beginning? I don't know if you skipped the intro, but if you did not skip the intro, you're watching this live. There were a couple roadblocks in me trying to put this video out when I started. I didn't really know how. I was nervous. This is my first time reading live. This, that, the other, his mama, nephew, next door neighbor, and the family dog, whatever, all boom, excuses, reasons, justifications, whatever you want to call them. But they were stopping and hindering this process. And something told me that as I continued trying, because this was the 5th time we tried with the live thing, something told me that as I continued to go through that process, it was because I needed to have a testimony. Something that's also coming to my mind right now is this thing that I always remember when I think about tests and testimonies, which is Nipsey Hussle. In the song that Mustard did called Perfect 10, he includes an excerpt of Nipsey Hussle talking about the seasons of going through his journey, the seasons of the marathon, essentially. He said, people look at me and wonder how I have all this poison, blah, blah, blah. And it's not that. I just went through every emotion possible with this. I went through every emotion. I've journeyed them. I have sojourned the best and the worst of the moments. And what you're seeing now is a product of not giving up. Your fate is not up to you. It has been decided. It is your mission to follow that through. And the mission in following that through is also to be pretty abundant in that. I fear that you might have imposter syndrome, where you are, this is obviously not a clinical diagnosis, like, what the fuck? I'm just saying, it's invitation, not an obligation. You don't have to feel obliged to anything that doesn't resonate. But I think that sometimes in this world, we're tricked into thinking that anyone is ready. That anyone is ready rather than in the right place at the right time. Like, shit. That's what happens. So don't second guess yourself or doubt that. And that's why it was turned around, because you got you fucked all the way up. You got you so fucked up that you were here thinking that your fate doesn't actually exist, that you aren't promised the abundance that you're looking for, that you should dream smaller, that you should pack it into a lack mindset, that you should limit your possibilities or limit what you think God could do for you. For why? You're incredible. Done. Case closed. I hope that was fast. But if it wasn't, I just want you to remember the bottom of the deck, which showed a 10 of Pentacles. That's a legacy. You are probably in the time of your life that your lifetime will be probably about, in the words of Chance the Rapper. But let's send you off with one more good vibe pile too, because I don't know who you are all the way, but I just want you to know I do believe in you. And if you drop a comment, let me know about your story. Oh, we'll affirm it. All we're affirming is what has already been promised to you in the first place. It's a pleasure and a privilege to witness stuff. So it's that one. Ugh! I wanted to shuffle some more. I'm not going to hold you. But you see this? You're already getting started. Another thing my daddy always said. See it. You already have the victory. You're just working it out with yourself. You know what you want. You know who you are. Don't let the world trick you into thinking they can spell your name better than you can. There's certain places only you can show, only you can share. But we're waiting for them. We're waiting for you. We're rooting for you. We're all rooting for you. We believe in you. So you just take that to the bank and cash that check in love. Sending you love, pile 2. Next caller. Pile 3. Our little nibbled citrine. No, really what happened with this, so is it hurt my heart. If you watch, obviously, I don't know. If you watch Steven Universe, then you have seen what happens sometimes when a crystal gem falls. It like cracks. And so when this first broke, I was really upset because I was like, oh, it's like a crystal gem. There's no energy in it anymore. And that's such a lie, because it was a story I was telling myself. Because this actually is super effective still. I still really feel a good vibe from it. And as I think about it, maybe I just told that story because some of you aren't feeling like you used to. You're not looking like you used to. You're not in the vibe that you used to be in. You may feel a little broken for whatever reason, you know. Life be life in that way sometimes. But you're not. You're not shattered. You are not shattered. In fact, your prism from that breaking point makes you all the more beautiful, all the more distinct. You are one of one. There's some like you, ain't none of them you. Pile 3. I feel like your word is a little bit less, you need a hug. It's okay to be where you are. You're not broken. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking you're kind of onto something. And so contrary to the unpopular opinion, you know, maybe somewhere down in there, nothing here has shattered. No one here is broken. And you won't get a good bitch down. I see something coming for you expeditiously. I feel like there's a switch that switches like super fast, super instantaneous. This reading also feels like the cards won't all come out at once. It's going to be just kind of a conversational thing. But I feel like there's going to be a switch that you hit that brings forth another path for you. Maybe something that you feel like you're good at, maybe something that you feel like you should do or something like that, but you're like a little bit nervous about. And then also the song I'm hearing right now is Wildfire by Subtract, which is making me think that that's how whatever this is catches on. So maybe you got a little vibe going for you, you know, like you have this very distinct thing that may not look like it used to, or may not be like anything is right now, but it's very you, in whatever that means and however that feels. And you're about to let it rip. You're about to just let your freak flag fly. Just see what happens. Would people accept you for you? Will they accept you in all of your, spectrums? Well, I'm just here to say, hell yes. And if they don't accept you, come back to this video and remember this point when I was like, oh, somebody's gonna accept you, because that's me, unless you're like fucking crazy. I mean, I don't mean that like, what do I mean by that, Nzinga? Don't put your foot in your mouth. You are loved and accepted here. Unless you want some stupid shit, and then I can't control my response. Okay, that's just 2 cards. We're gonna take that. It was 3, so we won't. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. Something you have to just pick up and catch on to. You just gotta let yourself kind of flow with it. Ooh. I'm just picking up so much sadness from this pile. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be so quiet, but it's like my energy's got really, really low. Are you struggling? That's okay. But we want you to know that it's okay to let your freak flag fly, whatever that means, whatever that looks like. Sometimes the freak flag is, I'm here. This is all I got. This is where I'm at. And I just want to let you know that that's a pretty awesome thing to contribute. Sometimes we just have to heal. Sometimes it's just hard. That's a human experience. You are special. You are living a distinct human experience. And as you heal, as you get your testimony, we want to hear you how we just hot over here. We just tongue-tied. That's how excited you are to hear what you have to share and offer. That's how much we believe in all the magic that's waiting and living in you. It's just to be activated on the journey. Once it does, it's going to be a wildfire thing. But I think that there's magic that lives inside of you. And if I'm being honest, I think it's still a little untapped. But know that it's living. It's living there. It lives in you. And every day that you continue on, it's just realizing another aspect of that potential. And right in the perfect place, in the perfect time, you will find yourself willing to dive deeper, to let that freak flag fly. But if you gotta heal, you gotta heal. But no, this is not broken. It's not shattered. It's just got a little wear to it. What else are you supposed to do in this meat suit? You gotta make something of it, right? You gotta make use of it. So just know that you're not lost in the journey. This is all a part of the plan. And as you heal and you decide which next steps you are going to take, you will take off like wildfire. But only you know what that is. And it's okay to take your time. It's all right to take your time. And it's all right to also bust it open a couple times, You do what you want to do. You do what makes you feel good. Figure it out. Heal. Make a choice. Choose you. And just let it go. Maybe take a trip. Maybe travel. Maybe this is a sign, as I look at this again, that you just need to take a little sabbatical. It's a little sabbat. You know, get on your way. To just remember what this is like in here. Maybe you need to take a little trip to get your groove back. And then as you do, we just want to pull one more card on this because I just feel like what it's telling me is actually I should have been sharing this energy with you. I should have been pumping you up, not just receiving that vibe. Give me one more card as a suggestion to pile 3. What is one more card? One, y'all. Thank you so much, but no, just one. Give me one more card for pile 3, please. Bruh. You know what I think of when I see this card ever? I think of No Name. Well, when I hear 6 of Cups as a card. But when I see this one, it so personifies it. You remind me to love myself for the principle, for the kid inside, till the end of time. You remind me to love myself for the principle, for the kid inside, till the end of time. You were chosen. And you kind of just like really making it rock. I'm sure however you can right now. And that's good. That's great. You are doing the best you can. But don't forget about that kid who dreamed big. And don't think that you're any less promised that fate. You're pretty freaking awesome. And I would love to hear from you. And if you're going through a hard time, just know you will get through this. If you want to share, drop it in the comment. I'm a listening ear. I'll drop a prayer for you, like a single, like a mixtape. Pile 3, sending my love to you. Thank you all who joined me today for this live. Again, it was my very first one. And I was feeling very brave in trying to do it. But I know that it'll just keep getting better as I go along. We all will keep getting better as we keep going along. It's about taking brave steps and making action and traction and being less afraid, I guess. Big, bold choices. So try something new. Drop it in the chat if you do. Bars. And I will see you all next time. Alrighty, Kube out.